Hi, welcome to the full stack development with Angular and Spring Boot. The objective of this course is to develop an end-to-end web application using Angular 8 and Spring Boot. So we have an Angular application at the front end and we have a Spring Boot application at the back end. They both communicate through REST API, and we're going to connect this to a MySQL database which provides the full CRUD support. So what are we going to build in this course? We're going to develop an online bookstore. It's an e-commerce application, and we're going to cover most common features like any other e-commerce application has, like managing a book, which covers the CRUD operations, and adding a book to a cart, and user login and logout functionality, and user checkout page. So here is a prerequisite to this course. So you should have a good knowledge on Angular framework, and you should have a good knowledge on Spring framework, and you should have a good knowledge on Maven. So once you are experienced with these frameworks, then come back to this course. So if you haven't worked on these technologies before, then I'll drop a link in the description section of this video to watch the Spring Boot videos and the Angular videos. Make sure to check out those videos, and once you are experienced with that, then come back to this course, because this course covers the building a web application using Angular and Spring Boot. So this course will not cover the basics of Angular, Spring framework, or the Maven. So here is a development plan. We follow an agile methodology to develop this application. So we're going to develop this application feature by feature. So we're going to develop the first feature, then feature 2, feature 3, and so on and so forth. So here is the plan for the feature 1. We're going to develop a Spring Boot backend application, and then we'll connect it to a MySQL database, and we're going to expose a REST endpoint to retrieve the list of books. Then we're going to create an Angular frontend application, and we will make an HTTP call to the REST endpoint which is provided by Spring Boot, and then we're going to display the list of books in a HTML table. Just a quick refresher on the Spring Boot application. We're going to use Spring Data REST. It's a separate project from the Spring people, and it minimizes all the boilerplate code, and it creates a REST endpoints based on the entity name for us. Yes, it creates a REST endpoints for us. We will never create a REST endpoints. By default, the Spring Data REST will create the REST endpoints for us. So here is an example for the student. We create a student entity class, and we create a student repository, and we're going to pass the student entity class and the primary key type. So the Spring Data REST will scan the JPA repository, and based on the entity name, it creates a following REST endpoints. So the REST endpoint is derived from a entity class name. It just pluralize the entity class name and uncapitalize the first character. For example, we have a entity name student that will convert it into a students, which is the pluralized form of the entity name, and it uncapitalize the first character, which means it lowercase the first character. For example, we have a department, it will convert it into a departments, and we have an employee, and it will create employees. So this is a naming convention that the Spring Data REST used to create a REST endpoints. And one last thing, we're going to use Lombok in the Spring Boot application. Again, it's a Java library, and it minimizes the boilerplate code. You can learn more about in the following link for Lombok. At a high level, we never write setters and getters. Instead, we're going to use an annotation add setter, add getter, which is provided by Lombok. And again, we're going to use add toString, which will override the toString method for us. So this is about the introduction to the course, and I'm super excited to create this course. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.